What is up, and welcome to I Hate Division Previews, the NFC and AFC edition. For those of you out there watching the show or listening to the show for a while, know that as a content creator, as a content consumer, I hated division previews. I always thought that they kind of just skimmed the surface on the players, didn't really talk about the ones that I really wanted to know about. So I always hated it as a content consumer. So as a content creator, I wanted to make a different way of doing it. So we're going to actually have two guests come on tonight, and we're going to mock draft both divisions. We're going to do the AFC East and the NFC East, and we'll just mock draft players from those divisions. It gets kind of interesting in the second round. You get a little bit more of a deeper dive into the division. We'll also do a couple of NFL futures, future prop bets for those two divisions as well. And of course, we always have our nonsense draft, so stay tuned.
Going for two, kickers are extra, I give them the boot. Ooh, going for two, sit back, relax while I grab me a brew. Ooh, now I'm reclining while putting my time and I'm ready to go. My spine is aligning and much my lineups, my bank account grow. I am so rich, but knowledge is all that I'm leaving it with. Ooh, listen to this, multiple options, how far can I get? Ooh, DFS Dynasty redraft tonight, I'm not finishing last. I'm finishing past any and all, I am looking to last. What else? This spot is popping and I am so locked in and only opening the door when it is opportunity knocking. And all of these spots keep on talking and talking. So what are we talking? What kind of alignment? And running it deep, even players forgotten or came from the bottom or hitting that top end. And this spot is popping, yeah, this spot is popping. And woo! This is the armchair, yeah. Put up your arms, yeah. Sound the alarm, yeah, yeah, yeah. Woo!
What is going on, and welcome to episode 422 of the Armchair Fantasy Show. I am your host, of course, Geoff Lambert. You can follow me on Twitter at JeoffLambert77. As you can see, we have a full panel tonight. But first, I'll intro my co-host of the last, I don't even know how long, 8 years maybe, Ryan Searfoss at Foss534. What's up, Ryan?
Not much. Draft season.
Absolutely.
Time to rip out. Scott Fishbowl started ripping off some best balls while I'm waiting for picks. If you want to learn patience or don't have any, just win a bunch of best ball drafts and drafts never stop.
There you go. That's the way to do it for sure.
Never stop.
All right. Also joining us tonight, the hardest working man in the business. I've known this guy for 10 years. He was one of the first podcasts that I ever went on when I was a content creator. Courtney, host of the Real Deal podcast with Courtney Harden. And he has the worst Twitter handle of all time at Courtney 110979, the longest number string there in the history of Twitter. What's up, Courtney?
What's up, Geoff? How you doing, man? Thanks for the invite. And yes, it's been 10 years. I can't believe it. We've done this for a long time. So I really appreciate always coming on with you and Ryan. So thank you for the invite, as always.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And joining us, he's been on the show a couple of times. Justin, he's the co-host of the TSS Fantasy Podcast. You could follow. Actually, I have the wrong Twitter down here. I have the old Twitter handle. So what's your Twitter handle, Justin?
Oh, it's the same one. It's SemtexMex93. If you want the podcast one, it's at TSS Fantasy. Yeah, man. I was just bebopping to your intro. That's a pretty sick beat you got going there. Whoever made that for you, if you made that yourself, if you were rapping that one, that was real nice. I like that one.
I wish that was me, but it is not. That was FF Man Bun on Twitter. He does a lot of that kind of stuff for some podcasts, and he did that for me a couple years ago. And it's fire. It's my favorite intro for sure. All right, fellas. So tonight we are here to draft the NFC and the AFC East. But first up, let me pay some bills here. Are you tired of long, drawn-out drafts and feel like they never end? I know Ryan just mentioned doing best ball drafts. You can do those now on Fast Draft. The fastest way to draft and win real cash. These drafts take less than 5 minutes. Seriously, you can knock them out on a lunch break or while you're using the bathroom. Right now, we have an exclusive offer for all our listeners. If you use our promo code GF2, you get a 100% deposit match up to $50. That's double the bonus, double the action. Jump into lightning fast drafts, dominate your opponents, and get paid in under 5 minutes. Go to fastdraft.com to sign up and use promo code GF2 and start drafting today. And they just recently launched their full-blown best ball. So they have the quick one where there's six spots, 4 starters, 2 bench. But then they just recently launched their full blown best ball format, so you can also go there and do full blown best ball now as well. So again, that promo code is GF2. All right, we're kicking things off with our nonsense draft.
Attention, everyone. Let's mock draft.
All right, tonight's an interesting one. We are drafting washed up. Maybe I should use the word retired. Maybe washed up's a little bit too harsh. Female pop stars or celebrities that we would want to co-host a podcast with. So they're not going to be your guest. They're going to be your co-host. They're going to be on every single show with you every single week. So we're going to be drafting that. And Courtney, you have the 101 here, sir. I'm really curious to what direction you're going to go here.
It's funny when you gave us this assignment, I had to think about it real quick. I'm like, okay, there's so many, like you said, retired, washed up female celebrities or singers or whatever. So I was asking my wife, like, who do you think I should go with or whatever? So we were debating. I said, number one, I'm gonna go with Britney Spears as my number one, only for the simple fact that, you know, she was the biggest pop star in the early 2000s, and she been through her career roller coaster and all the things. She went a little crazy a little bit, and then she came back, and it just hasn't worked out later after her pop star. But I would love to host a show with her multiple weeks, just every week, because she would have so many stories and in the pop world. So I'm going with Britney Spears.
Yeah, that would have been my 101 as well. She was definitely on my list, and I think some of their antics after her over was really why you want to have her podcast.
It's a quick way to get stabbed over a podcast.
It'll be number one, I'm sure, too.
Yeah. All right, great 101 there. Justin, you have a hard act to follow here. You got the 102.
Man, that was straight up the 101. I think that was the nail in the coffin right there. I think we should just wrap this thing up, because how do you get much better than that? Well, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to get much better than that. But me personally, if it wasn't Britney Spears, I wanted to have, for my podcast, I wanted to get Fergalicious, man. I wanted to get Fergie in that bitch. I wanted to hear all about what it was like to be part of the Black Eyed Peas. And, you know, is will.i.am really, is he a dickhead or is he a nice guy? All that type of stuff. But honestly, like, you think about the roller coaster that was Britney Spears. And I'm sorry, my son's in the background causing all kinds of ruckus. I don't know if you can hear the baby in the background there. But, you know, I think about it. She had such a rise to fame, and it seemed like that it was gone. And I just want to know what happened there. Outside of the fact that when she sang the national anthem, I think they could have got a horse to sing it better, but
yeah. Awesome pick. So that honestly would have been my next pick. So y'all have both now sniped me in this draft. So I'm left scrambling a little bit. But I do have one queued up here, and she was
Jeff's on to just skip and say he can get his off, so I don't steal it. It's fine.
Oh, you're right. My bad. I'm used to going third.
Jeff, you're not taking mine.
Yeah,
it's
go
fine.
ahead.
You can go.
No, go ahead.
No, go after you. I don't want to snipe you again.
All right. So I'm going. She was famous, I guess, in the late '90s, maybe even the mid '90s. Her boyfriend was actually a little bit more famous than her.
Oh, damn it! It was mine.
I'm going with Courtney Love.
Yep.
Yes, Courtney Love probably has a ton of stories to tell. You know, obviously, you know, drugs and everything else that she was going through in her life. So yeah, she would be very spontaneous and would be a great, I think, co-host for my podcast. Sorry for sniping you, Ryan, jumping in front of
you. I literally was like, you know what? I think that was gonna slip through. I almost waited till round 2 on that. Wrong.
All right, Ryan. Hopefully, I didn't leave you scrambling too much there. Who do you got for your 104 here?
So I'm gonna go with a retired TV person and do like late 90s, early 2000s. Just pop culture review with Danielle Fisher from Boy Meets World. Everybody's first crush, Topanga. Oh. She's super cool now. She does like all kinds of sneaker stuff and fun stuff on podcasts. We're bringing that back.
That is a great call, and she was not on my list, but that is a good one. I like it.
See, I thought that one would be on people's lists because, you know, she was everybody's first, one of two of everybody's first crush.
So I think the reason that she wasn't on my list is because I'm a little bit older than everybody on this panel, and I go back to the Wonder Years, and that was my crush there. I forget her name in that show.
I thought you'd be going back to like Audrey Hepburn or something.
not quite that far. Not quite that far. Yeah, I was a little too old for Topanga, but I definitely remember that show, and the one that preceded that, the Wonder Years. That was kind of my time frame. I'm trying to stall here because Courtney lost connection and he's the next pick. So I was hoping that he'd be able to get back before his pick. But as in the NFL fashion, if you're not there in time for your pick, we skip you. So Justin, you get to jump in front of Courtney here.
Okay, so you know what? You got me thinking there because I had one in the chamber, but then I was thinking about what was my crush during that time. And this might be a generational thing. We might be just going down the generations, but I'll go with Tiffany Thyssen. Saved by the Bell.
That's when I said there's only two choices there. That's the other one.
That's the other one.
You get everybody in trouble tonight.
Oh yeah. I love the stories that they had back then. Like there was all the drama of like, was she really sleeping with Mario Lopez? And then the other girl, I can't remember her name off the top of my head, was sleeping with the main character. I was just like thinking to myself, man, I just want to know the truth. Give me the truth. I want the truth.
Was Screech just doing all the blow on stage and just bullying people?
Yes, Screech. Dustin Diamond, the most perfect name for anything, including porn.
Exactly.
Huge scumbag.
All right. I won't snipe you this time, Ryan, so you get to go here at the 203.
She's technically not retired, but she's like does like made for TV movies now. Lindsay Lohan. She was a wild one. She was in that party scene in that time. I bet she got some stories.
Yeah, she definitely made a little bit of a comeback too, because I mean, for a while there, she was a train wreck.
Oh yeah, like the fact she was able to survive and be back, awesome. But like you get some really fun stuff.
Yeah, she did kind of what a child star doesn't do, and they bounce back after that big dip. She actually came out the other side. So
yep, agreed. All right, so Courtney is still having some connection issues. He said he's going to jump on his phone here in a second so he can get back on with us. So I will make my last pick. And y'all took a lot of the ones that I had on my list. So now I'm scrambling through here trying to find who I want to draft. I don't know if she's technically retired or not. I think she still kind of does some things here and there. But I loved her in Kill Bill, and I love Uma Thurman, and I think
she's definitely not retired.
Yeah, she still does some things every now and then, but I think I'm going Uma Thurman here with her Kill Bill persona. What's the last thing that she was in? I can't remember the last thing she was.
She was just in a movie like 6 months ago, I think.
Really?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think there was a movie that just released with her in it.
So maybe I can't. Okay, I won't go Uma Thurman then. Let me go to my other choice then.
I mean, she's been in 2 movies this year already.
All right, fair enough. I will find somebody else on my list.
I had to ruin that for you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you ruined it for me. That's all right. That's all right. You know what I'm going to do then? So I'm going to go with another huge pop group from the 90s. I think pretty much there was 4 of them, and pretty much 3 out of the 4 have careers sort of after the Spice Girls. The one that doesn't is Baby Spice. I don't think we've ever heard from Baby Spice ever again. You got obviously the Posh and Scary Spice. They all have their own career afterwards, but Baby Spice never had anything. I'm curious to what she's up to, and I would love to have a podcast with her as well. And the Spice Girls were sort of wholesome back then, but we all know in the background they probably weren't so wholesome. There's probably plenty of stories.
The words of their songs were not wholesome.
Well, I guess the words in the songs, but all the little 13-year-old girls loved them for sure. All right, Courtney is back. He's still getting set up here. We'll let him make his final pick as soon as he's set up here. Can't hear you, Courtney. You may have to go without the headphones. Sometimes headphones, for some reason, don't work. Yeah, we can't hear you still. Try going without the headphones. See if we can hear you without the headphones. Gotta love live, right? All the technical issues. It wouldn't be a show without technical issues.
Yep. If you click on settings, try audio output.
Yeah. If you look in the chat there, you could see where he said try the audio output, see if it's working. All right, well, we're gonna go ahead and move on here while Courtney tries to get everything fixed up. So as I mentioned at the top of the show, we are going to be doing a mock draft for both the NFC East and the AFC East, and the only rules are that you only can draft players from those divisions. We're going to do the NFC East first, so hopefully Courtney can get set up here pretty quickly because he's actually going to be the 101 in this draft. Courtney, you able to hear us yet? I'm going to go ahead and get the draft started while Courtney's getting set up here. We should have an 4-hour clock. I'm sure he'll be back by then. Courtney, can you hear us? Take your headphones out. Unplug the headphones. That's the only way you're going to be able to hear us. I still can't hear you. I don't know what's going on. I can't hear you. If you can hear me, go ahead and make your pick, and then we can kind of stall while you get the audio fixed.
And put it in the chat.
So while we're waiting for Courtney here, Courtney has the 101. Justin, you got the 102. I have the 103, and Ryan has the 104. So we're doing a 4-team, 6-round draft. Essentially, that's going to be a 12-team, 2-round draft. It's just easier to do this way so we can see it. So essentially, those first 3 rounds are round 1, and those last 3 rounds are going to be round 2. Ryan will get the back-to-back picks on the snake on the back end. And hopefully we can get Courtney here to make a pick here pretty soon. It is SuperFlex, it is tight end premium, and it is Dynasty that we are thinking here. So as you make your picks, be thinking about that as well. All right. So for the sake of moving on, I'm going to go ahead and make a pick for Courtney. And I'm going to assume that as an Eagles fan, and in fact that it's SuperFlex, that he's going to go with Jalen Hurts in this first round. So we are going to give him Jalen Hurts, if it'll let me give him Jalen Hurts. Let's see. All right, there we go. Jalen Hurts is right there. All right, so Courtney goes Jalen Hurts in the first round. Obviously, running quarterback, super flex. You got to go with the quarterbacks. Pushes all the quarterbacks to the top. So Hurts is off the board. Justin, you are here at the 102.
I'm going to make a surprise one. I'm going to go Dak Prescott over Jaden Daniels.
Ooh, spicy. You got to explain that one to me.
Oh, yeah. I mean, listen, I love Dak Prescott when he plays shitty teams, and he is in for a third-place schedule this year, which I am absolutely loving. Jaden Daniels, I'm a big Jaden Daniels fan, but I do believe in the sophomore slump. I do believe in a little bit of regression. I do believe that defenses can pick up on certain cues that quarterbacks have. We saw it with C.J. Stroud. I think that he could be in for one of those years where he doesn't live up to his ADP, and I think Dak will be above and beyond his ADP.
Love it. I love it. Well, you make my pick very easy because I thought I was going to have to decide between Dak Prescott and maybe even Saquon Barkley or something, but I'm just going to smash Jaden Daniels here, running quarterback, young quarterback. We are thinking dynasty, so I want to have Jaden Daniels, conceivably for the next, 8 to 10 years. And you really can't pass up those running quarterbacks. So to get Daniels here at the 103 is a steal, in my opinion. So, yeah, I love that pick. Ryan, you get the back-to-back here.
Oh, easy peasy. I didn't expect to go this way. Taking Saquon. I mean, what's there to say? He's an absolute monster in a high-powered offense with a great offensive line. Like, you don't need to explain him.
Yeah.
And same thing. CeeDee Lamb's had over 150 targets 3 years straight. I don't think George Pickens changed it. Like you said, third place schedule, not a great defense. They're going to be playing from behind, throw the ball a ton, garbage time, baby. I just didn't put those in. I'm so sorry.
No, I was just waiting for you to make your picks.
Okay.
All right. I am on the clock, and we're still trying to get Courtney in here. He may not be able to get back on. Let's see. Courtney, you got us?
He lost connection. He said he got lost connection in the storm.
Yeah, he lost connection in the storm. So what we can do, I'm going to tell him, Brian, if you can tell him in the chat just to make his picks in the mock draft, and then we can just kind of talk about it since he can't seem to get on. All right, so I'm on the clock here at the 2:02, and I think my pick is pretty easy here, and I'm going to take another second-year player, wide receiver, because, again, I like wide receivers in Dynasty because they last forever, right? You get those young guys at like 8 to 10 years of peak performance. I'll take Malik Nabers here, pair him with Jaden Daniels. Justin, you're up at the 2:03 now.
Yes, sir. And I'm going to go young this one. I'm going to go the Slim Reaper. I think it's probably time is ticking on A.J. Brown's hold on the number one. And the Slim Reaper has been relatively unscathed for how tiny he is. I mean, dude has been relatively uninjured his entire career. He's still an elite route runner. That's what got him to the show. And he's just getting better and better every single season. I think this could be one of the years that he has that takeoff into the elite category of being an actual number one wide receiver.
I love it. Taking them over A.J. Brown. You got two surprises. I would thought for sure you'd go on A.J. Brown there. Going with the Devonta Smith there. I love it.
I left AJ for Courtney because I knew he would love that.
Yeah, that's a good stack right there. And I'm waiting for him to pick, but if he doesn't, I'm going to make the pick for him. It will be A.J. Brown to stack with Jalen Hurts. So I'm going to go ahead and make that pick. I think it's a pretty slam dunk pick for him. Like I mentioned, the stack. A.J. Brown still has some peak years left. He's not completely old, but I do think A.J. Brown is a good pick here. And then what are we thinking? Give me some input, Ryan. Who do you think he should go with here? I'm looking at Terry McLaurin, Georgia.
McLaurin. Personally, that's who I take. I think he's just, like I said, rinse repeat, 1,000 yards, 8 to 10 touchdowns. Don't overthink it. He's connected to a good quarterback as of now. It's kind of easy.
Yeah, I agree. I think Terry McLaurin is who I'd have gone with there. So Courtney's team so far, Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, and Terry McLaurin. And Justin, you got Dak Prescott and Devonta Smith, and now you are on the clock, sir.
Yes, sir. And I'm gonna make it real easy here. I'm just gonna go with George Pickens. I think that he has a new life in Dallas. He's got all the talent. He could use some better separation, but I mean, maybe being around CeeDee Lamb, the route running wizard will help him out. But he's got everything else physically that can make him a huge threat in this offense. I think he could easily take off in Dallas. Could be another one of those things where Dallas got another Amari Cooper, except, like I said, he needs to clean up his route running.
Sounds good. Yeah, that's a great pick there. And you get the stack there with Dak as well. So, all right, I am on the clock now, and I am looking at my queue. And it got ugly fast.
It got ugly real fast.
Real fast. It got ugly. So a couple guys I'm looking at. I can go tight end here. We got Dallas Goedert still on the board. I could go with the guy that had one too many hot dogs last year and go with Deebo Samuel to get my Jaden Daniels stack. But you know what? I'm going to go young here. I'm going to go with a young running back in New York that I think has a good career ahead of him. He won't be a superstar, but he'll be a solid running back for years to come. Give me Cam Scatterbo. Ryan, you were up for the back-to-back.
So ugly now. Like, I'm just looking at this, and I'm going to start Brian Robinson. They still didn't bring enough, and he's going to get carries in a high-powered offense. I'm just going all Washington all the time. And then for my other back-to-back, oh, gross. I'm going to go Jake Ferguson. Again, I think Dallas has to pass the ball a lot, and those wide receivers should just make it so he sits in wide open zones all day and gets targets.
Make sure you put your picks in there. All right. I am going to be up on the clock here in just a second. And let's see. I'm looking at Again, I have the same options I had in the last round. I can go Dallas Goedert here, or I can go Debo. You know what? I think I will go Debo here. I get the stack with Jaden Daniels, even if it's only for 1 year. I still get that stack. Hopefully, he can bounce back. Hopefully, his year last year kind of opened his eyes a little bit. He gets back in shape and goes back to doing Debo type things. Justin, you are on the clock, sir.
Yeah, I'm gonna bet against your pick of Cam Scatterbo and say that Tyrone Tracy sticks around for at least another year, taking away the pass catching as well as some of the runs. He was pretty good last year, sans the fumbling issues.
Love it. I love it. And just gonna stick with Courtney's team, and we're gonna go Dallas Goedert here in the fourth at the 4-4. So now he's got the complete stack. He got the Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown, Dallas Goedert stack, and then wow, it is getting so ugly. I'm trying to find.
At first, I'm like, this division's good. Then I'm like, oh, there's no running backs.
Yeah, there's literally
After the first round, like
it's put a bag over her ugly right now. Like it's bad.
It's high end. It's high end, no depth. Like
yeah.
it's really high end, but no depth.
Absolutely. I think what I'm going to do here for Courtney is I am going to SuperFlex, need a young quarterback. There's not a whole lot of quarterbacks left in this division, so we're going to take Jackson Dart. Obviously, the backup, or maybe he's the third string this year with Jamison Wilson and Jameis Winston there. But I think eventually they'll give the shot to Jackson Dart, so I'll take him here at the 501.
Nice. I think with this one, damn you for making all those picks for Courtney, because I wanted Jackson Dart real bad. I'm gonna go wild card here. I'm just gonna say I think the guy from Texas might be worth a damn. I'm gonna go Jaden Blue.
Like it. I like it. It's a great pick. Young running back there. Could get opportunity in Dallas. Great pick. All right, so I am up on the clock, and again, I am limited in my options. This division is really, really ugly. You know what? I think I'm going to go with the tight end here. There's not a whole lot left, but Theo Johnson actually had a pretty decent season last year. He had some injuries that kept him out for most of the season, but when he was in there, he was okay, and I think if he can get acclimated, we know tight ends take a little bit longer to break out. So maybe he's one of those second or third year type breakouts. I'll take Theo Johnson here in a tight end premium league. Ryan, you got the back to back.
Well, we're just going for the stack here. We're going to just take Russ Wilson. He's a starter. Is he good? Probably not, but it's SuperFlex. You need starters at some point in your life. And, we're going to pair him up with Wan'Dale Robinson because why not? He's listed as a starter. He's one of the highest on depth chart out of any receivers left at this point in the draft. There were times that we believed in him, even though he's been kind of beat up and hasn't played. But yeah, I'm going to take those two, and I'll put those picks in.
All right. I am up on the clock here, and it's funny because I made a queue right before the show started, and I put a bunch of players in the queue from this division so it'd make it easier for me to make the picks. And I accidentally clicked on Ladd McConkey. What I could give the draft sim right about now. Unfortunately, that's in the wrong division, so I cannot draft Ladd McConkey. But let me see. I will go with. Guess I'll take another. I don't know what I just did there. I think I minimized it by accident, trying to mute it.
Sleeper just gave up after seeing this. What players were left?
This division, it was like, yep, that's it. That's a wrap.
Good.
You know what? I'm just going to take another flyer here on a young wide receiver. His brother was really good in the NFL, so maybe he can eventually put it together. I'll take Ladd McConkey. I'm sorry, not Ladd McConkey. I just literally looked at his name. Luke McCaffrey is who I'm going to take here.
Nice. You know what? I'm gonna do a little bit of the same. I'm gonna get a flyer in on the same team. Just got him out of the fourth round. Jalen Lane. He looks like he was killing it at OTAs. Hopefully that transitions to training camp.
I like it. All right. Courtney is up for his last pick here. And let's see who I have left in my queue. I'm going to go with another young tight end, second-year player, still behind Zach Ertz in the offense, but I think Zach Ertz is obviously a little long in the tooth and won't be around too much longer. So Ben Sinnott is the backup that could potentially be a good pick in the long run. All right, so let me look at the teams. Courtney, who unfortunately was not able to join the show because he had some storms there in Philly and lost connection. But he's got Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, Terry McLaurin, Dallas Goedert, Jackson Dart, and Ben Sinnott. Justin, you got Dak Prescott, Devonta Smith, George Pickens, Tyrone Tracy, Jaden Blue, and is it Jalen Lane? That's his name?
Yeah, Jalen Lane. Yep.
Jalen Lane. So tell me how you feel about your team there. You like how this fell for you?
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking go wild card and just say fuck it, watch the world burn, get Jameis Winston at the last pick. But then I was when you were talking about Luke McCaffrey, I was just like, oh yeah, there's that guy called Jalen Lane. Let me see that. That makes a lot more sense than that. But otherwise, like joking around, I really do actually like the team. It's a solid 7-7 team.
Yeah, good stuff. My team ended up Jaden Daniels, Malik Nabers, Cam Scatterbo, Deebo Samuel, Theo Johnson, and Luke McCaffrey. And I love this team. The Jaden Daniels and Malik Nabers combo is going to be nasty for years to come. Cam Scatterbo, hopefully he comes into his own. Theo Johnson, I'm kind of counting on him coming into his own as well. And then I got Deebo and Luke McCaffrey from Washington to stack with Daniels. Hopefully Deebo can carry the torch for this year, and then Luke McCaffrey next year picks up where he left off. Ryan, you ended up with Saquon Barkley, CeeDee Lamb, Brian Robinson, Ferguson, Russell Wilson, and Wan'Dale Robinson. How do you feel about your squad?
I mean, I have the top running back in the league and top 3 wide receiver. So it's not a bad start. Russ is capable-ish, I guess. And Brian Robinson will be a low-end RB2. They'll compete. And Ferguson probably could be a low-end tight end 1. Like, there's upside, especially with the 2 big ones, but, like, this division got ugly.
This division is...
And spoiler alert, the AFC East is next, and it's not going to get better.
Yeah, it's not any better. You think it would be, but it's not.
No, stay here to watch us suffer, guys.
Yeah. All right, let's do some prop bets here before we get to our next mock draft.
Prop bet of the week.
All right, so I have 4 futures here from the East, from the NFC or the AFC East. I was going to give us one each, but now that we're missing Courtney, we'll all 3 do this first one here. And I got these props from DraftKings. Josh Allen over under 3,750 and a half passing yards. I'll go to you first, Ryan. Do you think Josh Allen gets over the 3,750 mark?
I mean, last year was his lowest passing year in 5 seasons, and he missed that by 20 yards. I'm betting on him. I mean, their defense didn't get much better. Hope they'll probably in the rest of their division a little better, so he's not going to have as many games where he comes out and should get to throw the ball more. I'm going to take the upper. I mean, we're talking 4,500, 4,400, 4,200, 4,300, then 37, 31. I'm going the over on that.
Yeah, the trend seems to think that, the overall, you got 4 out of 5 seasons or whatever over that mark. You go with that mark. I like it. What about you, Justin? You going over here with Josh Allen as well?
Yeah, I was about to say, like, Josh Allen doesn't miss 4,000 yards when he's been, an actively good quarterback. Ever since the Dable years, he's been just on fire. Last year was a real anomaly because, he was kind of not really the best Josh Allen, but he still won the MVP. I think that even though they switched up this offense and they gave the ball more to James Cook at the goal line, I think at the end of the day, you're playing a first-place schedule. You've got some killers on your team. And then you've got the Patriots starting to come up. I think this team is going to need a lot more firepower. And like you already said, the defense did not get much better. So I think it'll definitely be an easy over.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to sleep it here, going with the over on the 3,750 and a half passing yards for Josh Allen. The next one we're going to do, and I'm going to go to you, Ryan. We'll do one of these each. So I'll give you this one since you drafted this guy in your mock that we just did. Saquon Barkley over under 1,450 and a half rushing yards. Of course, just rushed for 2,000 yards. History tells us it's not going to happen again. They typically don't do as well. But 1450 is still a pretty solid number for a running back. What are your thoughts here? Over, under 14.
I'm going to be super boring. I'm going to say under. Last year's the first year he's ever had he's had over 1,400 yards. I know he's on a great team. He's also never played back-to-back seasons where he's played the whole season. So he's never had back-to-back 16-game seasons. I guess he's 17 now, so he missed a game last year. So he's never played the full season. There's always been missed games. And he's going to be turning 20. He's going to be 28 this year. He'll probably do it, but if I were to bet on it, I'd bet the under just because there's so many things going against him there.
Yeah, I agree. I think that he kind of falls in that Christian McCaffrey where he had that amazing season. We forget that he was injury prone before that, right? I mean, he rarely finished a season before that. I know it's the Eagles and they were great and all, but who's to say that he doesn't get hurt in this season? I hope he doesn't. God forbid.
If it was scrimmage yards, it's a different story.
Agreed. Yeah, if it were including the passing, receiving ability, then yeah, for sure. But just rushing, I agree. I think under is the way to go. All right, Justin, you get the Garrett Wilson one. Garrett Wilson over under 925.5 receiving yards. So they're not really giving him any respect at all. I think he's had 1,000 yards his first couple seasons. So they're not giving him a full 1,000. I guess they're really buying into the Justin Fields, not throwing him the ball too much. What are your thoughts here? Over under that mark?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go with the over on that one. A couple factors here. Dude's fighting for a new contract. He's back with his old OSU quarterback who helped get him to the NFL, or at least help showcase his talents to the NFL level. And Justin Fields has actually produced at a high level, at least for a number one wide receiver. Last time he was in Chicago, DJ Moore had 1,300 yards. He was there when Darnell Mooney went for over 1,000 yards in Chicago. If you give Justin Fields the reins, he might not do a lot, but he definitely feeds his number one guy, especially if there's really no competition, kind of like with Garrett Wilson right now.
Yeah, agreed. And I think, going back to their college days too, they have that chemistry. So I think he's going to target his boy from college. So I like it. All right, I'll wrap up this last one here. I have Malik Nabers over under 7.5 receiving touchdowns, and I am smashing the over. He had 7 touchdowns last year in an absolute shit show. I mean, their corporate situation is pretty bad this year. It was worse last year, right? It couldn't get much worse than last year. This year, he's at least got a competent quarterback in Russell Wilson. I think at some point, Jameis Winston does see the field, and then we know how it's going to go. Winston's going to target the hell out of him like he did Jerry Jeudy last year. So the 7.5 touchdowns, I think, is going to be a smash over. I can see him getting 10 plus with these quarterbacks in this hopefully improved offense for sure. So I'll take the over on Malik Nabers, 7.5 receiving touchdowns. All right, now it's time for our AFC mock draft.
Attention, everyone. Let's mock draft.
All right, let me get the right draft board up here on the screen, and let me go ahead and get it started. Justin, you're going to kick us off here at the top. You got the 101, and whenever you're ready, go ahead and kick us off.
Wow, boys, it's a real tough decision here. I don't know who to go with, but I'm just going to leave it at dude's been like number one for how many years now. Just don't mess with the formula. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, agreed. Josh Allen is the clear number one in this division for sure. No doubt about it. All right, Courtney is up, so I'm going to make Courtney's picks for him here. And the fact that it is SuperFlex adds a little bit of a wrinkle on who I'd go with. Wow. I don't know. I guess I can go Drake May. I'm going to take Drake May here. Young quarterback, again, SuperFlex, pushes the quarterbacks up to the top. Justin Fields, we just talked about him a little bit. I do think he has a good season, but I don't know I think Drake May's upside is a little bit higher than Justin Fields' upside. And then I am on the clock, and I am going to I'll take the other guy that we just talked about. I'll take Garrett Wilson here. I do think he gets over 1,000 yards this year. I do think him and Justin Fields are going to have a good connection. You worry about the whole Jets in general because they're just a terribly run franchise, but I think Garrett Wilson has done it with less. His rookie season, he had some terrible quarterbacks. Last year, he had the ghost of Aaron Rodgers, and he still got over 1,000. So I'll take Garrett Wilson here. Ryan, you got the back-to-back.
I'm going to pick Devin A-Chain first. His health always is going to scare me just a little bit because of his size. But when he's on the field, you can't deny what he is and how good he can be. Like, he had 1,400 yards last year. I'm in 12 touchdowns. I'll take that all day, every day. And I'll bet on some healthy this game or two it's saying. And I'm really torn here. But I'm going to take James Cook. I really was going to take Breece Hall, but James Cook is the best weapon on that offense. Like, they didn't add any superstar playmakers, and the offense ran through him. And I'm going to take that, especially that offense when they're high score. Like, him getting 14 plus TDs feels like a lock to me.
Yeah, agreed. You can go ahead and put your picks in. I'm looking at the board here, and you mentioned Breece Hall, and I don't want to buy too much into that Jets offense. I already have Garrett Wilson. I don't know where Breece Hall is going to be playing next year, so I think I'm going to pass on Breece Hall, and I think I'm going to go with another running back, and a rookie running back. So I'm going to get the young guy, receiving ability. I'm going to take Travion Henderson here for the Patriots. I think his upside is tremendous. He's going to be one of those few running backs that's going to be on the field in passing situations as a rookie because he's such a good blocker. They've already kind of commented in the camps that he is a tremendous pass protect blocker, so he'll be on the field all the time. So I love Travion Henderson. Ramondre Stevenson has kind of fumbled his way out of a starting job. Henderson's job to lose now. Courtney is on the clock here, and I will take the aforementioned Breece Hall. I do think he has a bounce back season this year. He had the passing work last year. It was just not very efficient with it. So I do think that he has a bounce back. I think having Justin Fields and the threat of the run helps him open some lanes up. I think they want to go back to playing defense and running the ball, and I think Breece Hall is going to be a big part of that. Justin, you are on the clock now, sir.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with. I actually do believe in this guy. I think Justin Fields is a good guy to build off of. They're kind of giving him the Baker deal, where it's kind of like, here, kid, you got shunned at your old place. Come over here, play with us, and make a name for yourself. I think he's got the perfect mindset to do that. Always been a leader. Always had rave reviews coming out of every team he's ever been to. And then, you know what? I'm gonna take the guy. It's gonna be a risky pick, but I'm gonna go with Tyreek Hill. I'm gonna say he's still got something left in the tank, and I'm gonna try and win a championship this year.
I like it. All right, Courtney is up at the 302, and I think I'm going to end up taking the other wide receiver in that offense, and I'll take Jalen Waddle. And as Courtney, I think if he was to take Waddle here, is hoping that Tyreek Hill does kind of flame out, and then Jalen Waddle steps into the reins of the number one receiver. We've seen it a couple of years ago where he was a top 12 receiver. I think he can get there again as long as he can stay healthy. That's been his biggest issue, is just staying on the field. And then his quarterback, obviously staying on the field, who I am going to take with my next pick. I haven't gone quarterback yet. The other three quarterbacks are off the board. So I'm going to take Tua Tagovailoa here in the third round to pair with Travion Henderson and Garrett Wilson. Obviously, health is his biggest concern. Whenever he's on the field, he produces. But we know that one more concussion could end his career. But at this point in the third round, I think it's a viable pick here. Ryan, you're up here at the 3-4 and the 4.
I feel like we found our cliff.
This is the cliff, yes.
This is the cliff. So you mentioned it before in losing attempts and carries with Ramondre Stevenson and Travion Henderson being that guy. He may be the one who's more efficient for the passing game, but he was a running back who's built to split carries. He did in college at Ohio State. He is the lightning to Ramondre's thunder. Ramondre's still going to get short yardage situations. He's still going to get when they have the lead, which we'll have more of this year. He's going to get red zone opportunities. He's still going to be a part of that offense for the foreseeable future until they find someone to replace his role, because their roles will coexist. And that team wants to run the ball.
Yeah, I like that call.
And I'm going to take Khalil Shakur. I think he's a good floor play. He was heavily targeted last year, especially later on as the season went, and Allen trusted him. So I think a 100-target guy here.
Yeah, I like both those picks there, and I'm glad you didn't snipe me, because you know who I want, and it's time for me to take him here, because I think he won't make it back to me in the next round. Of course, if you watch this show at all, you know I'm a Keon Coleman fan. I love Keon Coleman. I think he's going to have a big year. The Bills didn't really go out and do anything to replace him or to get somebody to compete with him. I think they're going to be putting him in situations that he's going to be able to perform. He'll play 90% of the snaps. I know Jamie's in the chat, and he's been giving me a hard time about my Keon Coleman love. I'm hoping that he finally pays it off for me this year, so I'll draft Keon Coleman here in the 4th round. And then Courtney is on the board now, and so far his team is Drake May, Breece Hall, and Jalen Waddle. And I'm going to go ahead and take the best tight end that's still on the board, Kincaid. I know we go 3 Bills here in a row. And I think any of these 3 guys could potentially be the target leaders in this offense. I think Shakir has the best chance to do it. Coleman obviously is more of a big play guy, but Kincaid plays in that middle of the field, has that big play ability. He can also be a leader in the targets. So I'll take Kincaid here for Courtney. Justin, you got the back-to-back, the 4 and 5.
All right, you ready? I'm going to make it 4 Bills in a row. I'm going to go Ray Davis, baby. I think Ray Davis got a bigger role in this offense going forward. He had a nice role last year. I could definitely see them using him more in goal line situations going forward. I know Cook had an amazing year last year, but, Ray Davis is more suited for that goal line work, more built like a bowling ball. And then I will actually go with a former Bill in Stephon Diggs. As he recovers, I think he'll be somebody to be watching out for later on in the season.
I like it.
He can easily bully a young quarterback into force feeding the ball.
Yeah, 100%. That is very accurate. All right, so I took Kincaid in the last one. This is tight end premium. I'm gonna double up on tight ends here. And Jamie, if you're still in the chat, this is your boy. Jamie's on record saying that he may be a top 12 tight end this year. I don't see it as a rookie, but I'll take Mason Taylor here. I do like him. I've got him in a bunch of my rookie drafts. He'll probably be thrown into that number 1 spot in his rookie season. And we've seen before where rookies can have big years, even on bad teams. So I'll take Taylor here for Courtney. And then right back to back is my pick, and I'm gonna stick with the rookies. I'm gonna go with Kyle Williams here from the New England Patriots, another guy that's been getting some hype. Pair him. I got a triple threat now with Garrett Wilson, Keon Coleman, and Kyle Williams. And in that offense, the Patriot offense is pretty wide open in the pass catchers, and even Diggs is getting a little bit older and should be retiring soon. So I'll take Kyle Williams here with my 5th round pick. Ryan, you got your last 2 picks here, 4, 5, and 6.
I'm going with a guy who still finished in the top 12 of his position last year. He is old. He is boring. But you know what? He is the safety blanket, the binky to a young Drake May. I'm taking Hunter Henry. He had almost 100 targets last year with May getting his feet wet. So I'm going to take him there. It's super boring, and I love it. And then I am going to protect my first-round investment and Devin A-Chain. And I'm taking Jalen Wright. I really love the skill set. He's electric, and that offense in that situation, if something happens, he can step in and produce at a high level.
Yep, I literally just put him in my queue because I was like, "There's no way Ryan's taking him in this pick." Because I think I know everybody likes Ollie Gordon, the rookie, but I think it's Jalen Wright's job to lose. Ollie Gordon is a fun player, but I think Jalen Wright should be the one to fill that second role. And if A-Chain goes down, then Wright is the better fill in there. All right, so I will take another backup running back that I think has some potential if he ever gets the opportunity. I mentioned earlier that I don't know where Breece Hall will be playing in 2 years. I will take his backup, and I'll take Braylon Allen, who had a little bit of a run last year with Breece Hall out and actually looked pretty good. So I think in this last round here, taking him is a pretty good steal. And then Courtney is on the board now, and I'm going to take a wide receiver for him. I think he only has one wide receiver. But we're going to go back to that Patriots offense and take a guy that's been fairly consistent in getting targets. He's not exciting, but I'll take Demario Douglas here, the New England Patriots. Justin, close us out here.
All right, I'm going to close it out with Isaiah Davis. I think he might end up being the better of the Jets backups, but it all depends on if Breece Hall is traded at the deadline.
Yeah, good call. I like it. This time I'll go backwards. Let's look at our teams here. Ryan, you got Achane in the first, James Cook, Ramondre Stevenson. So you went running back. Then you got Khalil Shakir, Hunter Henry, and Jalen Wright, and you did not get a quarterback, which, it's fine. You can go without a quarterback if you want. But yeah, what are your thoughts on your team here?
Very similar. Really good high-end guys, old people at the end, so it'll play and compete because of it. But the health-wise of the backs makes me a little nervous with both of them. I'm just not a small running back person, but there's value there.
Yeah, good call. All right, so I went Garrett Wilson, Travion Henderson, Tua Tagovailoa, my boy Keon Coleman, Kyle Williams, and ended it with Braylon Allen. And I like my team. I think it's a solid team. It doesn't have a tremendous amount of upside because I think Garrett Wilson's upside is capped by Justin Fields. I think Travion Henderson's upside is capped by being on the Patriots. Tua is capped by injuries. Keon Coleman is capped because Josh Allen does everything in that offense seemingly, and he doesn't really get a lot of touchdowns to his receivers. But overall, I think it's a solid squad there. And I think, a couple of years I'll be able to compete with that squad. Courtney goes with Drake May, Breece Hall, Jalen Waddle, Dalton Kincaid, Mason Taylor, and Demario Douglas. I love the Drake May pick. I think he has a great potential future. Breece Hall, we mentioned, will have at least this season, we think, with the Jets. He might get traded at the trade deadline, depending how things are going for their season. So maybe he gets into a better situation. And I think Waddle could eventually step into the Tyreek Hill role, assuming health. And then the two tight ends, tight end premium leagues, Kincaid's already a decent tight end, and Mason Taylor could be that next guy. So I like Courtney's team a lot.
Will the term regarding health show up in any division more than this one?
Yeah, exactly.
And mainly the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, you're right. It's the Dolphins.
Holy cow.
100%. Because even their tight end that we didn't draft in this one, Darren Waller, I mean, how healthy is he going to be? I mean, he's been out of football for a year, and he's, 33 years old? Yeah. That's tough. All right, Justin, you went with Josh Allen, Justin Fields, Tyreek Hill, Ray Davis, Stephon Diggs, and finished it off with Isaiah Davis. What are your thoughts here on your team?
Yeah, I mean, I think getting two quarterbacks gives you a little bit of room, a little bit of wiggle room to take some chances on guys like Diggs and Isaiah Davis. But overall, I mean, I think I liked what I got because it's like, I went for the upside. Tyreek Hill, we all know he's all upside if he's right and that wrist is right. And then Ray Davis, I think you can definitely sneak some touchdowns away from James Cook. Like I said, Diggs is probably going to be like a later guy, but I'll deal with it. And, if I can win a couple games and then have to use Diggs later, that's perfect. And then Isaiah Davis, that's that dart throw, baby. That's that one where you go, okay, Breece Hall to Kansas City at the deadline. Let's go, Isaiah Davis, baby. Let's go.
I love it. Yeah, the two quarterback thing is definitely a big advantage for you with the way this is set up right now because, Ryan with no quarterback, I have Tua who can get hurt, and then I have no quarterback. You have the running quarterbacks in this division. So for sure, you are set up nicely with this team. All right, that wraps up the I Hate Division Preview mock drafts. I want to thank you, Justin, for coming on today. I know it was a short notice because you had to fill in for your podcast partner. Courtney, if you were watching this, I know you lost connection. Storms in Philly kind of took you out. But thanks for coming on. Hopefully we can get you back on at a different time and with a better connection. But Justin, tell us where we can find you at. Tell us where we can follow your podcast, your YouTube show, and everything else you got going on.
Yeah, I appreciate coming on again. It's always fun. I think the last time we did the no nonsense draft, it was things in Walmart that you would fight off a zombie apocalypse with. That was really fun. And then this one I think was even a little bit more fun because it kind of made me think, who is a has-been? You know what I mean? But once again, thank you guys for having me on. You can catch me on TSS Fantasy. We do a YouTube show. We're actually doing teams right now as well. And then you can also catch me on Twitter, stirring shit up. My tag is SemtexMex93 with a lowercase s. Yeah, that's where you can find me.
Good stuff. And I'll be seeing you on Sunday, sir, right?
That is correct, my friend. SFBDC. I love it. Let's go.
Should be a lot of fun. All right, Ryan, what you got going on?
Same old. Find me here every Wednesday night. Find me over at the Rookie Big Board with the Dynasty Big Board podcast. Comes out Wednesday morning. Just don't listen to this week's.
Yeah, it's Ryan some trivia that he did not do so well at. So if you want to hear Ryan,
allegedly, there was no episode that aired, or there was, but it didn't air to you.
Good stuff. All right, I want to plug my other show one more time. Me and my daughter do a show. It's not football related. It's Star Wars. He's a huge Star Wars fan, probably even a bigger Star Wars fan than me. I think tomorrow we're going to do some what ifs, like what if this happened and this didn't happen. So it should be a lot of fun. It'll be tomorrow, Thursday at 8:00. So check us out over there. It's a half an hour show. It's just a little fun show that we do. But with that, with Ryan, with Justin, I am Geoff. I'm going to send us out on our outro from our show, me and my daughter, instead of our regular outro.